Olive says hi. Let me move this. It's kind of in a weird place. Hello, friends. It is I, your SoundFontGuy. Today I want to talk about something that I find super cool, which is DnB or drum and bass music. Disclaimer, I do not claim to be an expert on any of this stuff. I'm just an enthusiast. That's it. DnB, short for drum and bass, has a surprisingly close relationship with video games. It emerged from its parent genre, jungle, which is a gritty underground style deeply rooted in reggae and hip-hop. While jungle embraced raw break beats and an edgy vibe, DnB smoothed things out, taking inspiration from techno, dance, and trance. Both genres share quick 160 to 180 BPM drum breaks, but DnB often complements these rhythms with lush, ambient pads, laser synth leads, and tough, punchy bass lines. So, what's with the strong connection to video games? Well, jungle and DnB exploded onto the scene in the mid-90s. Especially in the UK, right as 32-bit CD consoles like the PlayStation and Sega Saturn hit shelves, alongside booming PC shareware and the arrival of Nintendo 64. Aside from the cartridge-based Nintendo 64, these consoles could effortlessly stream CD-quality audio, opening the floodgates to nearly every music genre imaginable. But why specifically jungle and drum and bass? Well, club culture played a huge role in this. Sony literally set up PS1 gaming rooms in nightclubs in the 90s, and a lot of its marketing was directed specifically at that scene. So it follows naturally that the types of music that were popular in those scenes would also find a home on the PS1. Short, memorable loops were already a staple of game music by then, perfect for easy recognition and lots of head bobbing. Combine that infectious energy with a new wave of fast, responsive 3D games like anti-gravity racers such as Wipeout, and it's pretty obvious why DnB's speedy rhythms and atmosphere fit like a glove into gaming. Additionally, game devs and publishers actively sought DnB artists to work on their games. For example, Soichi Terada, aka Omodaka, which not only helped introduce their music to new audiences, but also funded their art form by paying for new music gear, recording equipment, and, of course, a wage or commission fee for their work. The reverse is true as well. Record labels hearing some great DnB tracks in games and scouting that talent for a record deal. So in short, DnB and video games kind of clicked right away because they arrived at the same time, targeted the same audiences, and fed off of each other's success. Speaking of success, I owe part of my success to KarpoCottage. KarpoCottage designed the SoundFontGuy mascot/logo and recently opened an Etsy shop where you can get the mascot as a sticker or various other cute stickers for your water bottle or your laptop. I have a bunch of them myself. So head on over there and show a little love. Don't think it stops there. Oh no, my friend. The relationship between video games and drum and bass music only deepened from there. Enter Sega Dreamcast.
Sega Dreamcast. It's thinking.
The Dreamcast came out in 1999 and was indeed a very dreamlike experience to play. And despite not being a financial success, it was home to some of the most famous games and franchises of all time. And yeah, loads of DnB. As you just saw and heard, the Dreamcast served as a sort of segue platform for video games and drum and bass music. By the early 2000s, Jungle and DnB were on their way out of the mainstream club scene. At the same time, the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox were at the beginning of a new console war, and one that would mark a fresh era of evolution for DnB that would be the true defining era of the future of the genre. Tons of games from this generation make use of this genre. And by the mid-2000s, several generations of players had been exposed to this style of music and fallen in love with it. Now, 25 years later, the genre is more alive than ever somehow. It can still be found in lots of video games, although not nearly as front and center. You're more likely to find DnB in indie games or smaller titles that don't necessarily get AAA hype. But the modern link between video games and DnB isn't in game soundtracks as much as it's in the music itself. Many artists across age groups, but especially those who were young and shaped by that era, have taken to making their own DnB music, often featuring audio clips of dialogue or sound effects from games of the 90s and 2000s. So while games featured DnB back then, today DnB is featuring games. The bond between video games, drum and bass music, gamers, and musical artists is tighter than ever and getting better all the time. Video games and drum and bass music are forever inextricably linked through their shared culture and audience, and I think that's something to be excited about. If you want to hear some of the best of today's DnB that sort of honors yesteryear, check out artists like Pizza Hotline, Baychimo, even ambient revivalist Soundchip Radio. Or you could try making your own using my new sample pack, Ambient Guy. It's brimming with over 400 samples, perfect for your ambient DnB needs, featuring dreamy ambient pads, loops and grooves recorded with real 90s hardware, drum loops and one-shots performed by professional session drummers like Jake Noggle, Felipe Boyd, and Francesca Pratico, and even impulse responses including Y2K reverb and CRT TV.